Good evening. This is Mike Gray. This is my assignment for week 4. We were told to pick a case study in the book. I picked Marginal on page 13. And the story goes that Mary Marginal is a field hockey player at a high school. And her dad, Mr. Marginal, owns the sporting goods store. Well, anyway, the AD's name is Mr. Budget. And anyway, the coach's name isn't given. So, to start off the story, Mr. Budget, the AD, wants to make the coach give the daughter, Mary Marginal, a starting spot on the lineup in order, excuse me, with this will come, free discounts. Well, not free discounts, but I mean percentage discounts at the sporting goods store that Mr. Marginal owns if his daughter starts. I've dealt with this before in small towns, and I know how this works. Okay, the reason I picked this is because it was so similar to something I'd seen before and I've had dealt with in my coaching and teaching career. But anyway, Mr. Budget is just, he's got his mind made up, the athletic director, that he's going to tell the coach, hey, you got to make Mary Marginal start, be on your starting lineup. So Mr. Marginal will give everybody in the athletic department at the school discounts. First off, that's unethical, in my opinion. The coach is very unsettled by this. He doesn't know what to do. And, he's kind of stuck in a hard place, and he's not sure what to do. This kind of decision in a small town in the public school system, I've seen it make or break a coach. I've seen a coach actually fired because of a decision like this that it's come down to. And, I mean, it's unfortunate because it's not fair. The common sense solution from it says, the assignment says use the common sense solution and moral-based decision. On the moral-based decision theory, I went with consequentialism. All right, the common sense solution, first off, if I was the coach, I would tell the AD, hey, sir or ma'am, Mary Marginal does not meet up to my standards of being a starting player. However, she is a welcome part of my squad, and I will keep her out there, and, she will receive playing time. But as to a starting position, she lacks the necessary athletic skills to start in the game. And, I mean, a lot of parents have a hard time dealing with this fact. They think their kids should be, starters. And, I mean, they might not always have, what it takes to be a starter. So, backtracking to the common sense solution, I would just say, Mr. Budget, it doesn't meet up. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to start her. And two things can happen. He's going to either say or else, and you have to make the decision whether to do it or not do it, or he can back off for the fact that he knows that you can come back and say he's practicing unethical behavior. Personally, and if I'm in the coach's shoes, it's not going to happen. I'm going to tell, Mr. Budget, hey, it's just not going to happen. She doesn't meet to my standards. I have to do what I think is right for my team and what I think is right for the school district and what I think is right for the high school. Okay, moving along. The moral-based decision is pretty simple. Consequentialism, consequences, what it says. If you do decide to start Mary Marginal, there's several things that will happen. You can lose control of your squad, your entire program, and lose the respect of your players, which is not good because basically it will fall apart. People in the community will start saying, well, the coach doesn't have control over the team, and it goes from there. The other side of it is you can say, say he doesn't say, I'm not going to start her, sir, and it's just not going to work out, and I don't feel that she meets the criteria to be a starter in my program. And then, that's the other consequence. The athletic director might think, well, okay. Now, personally, in my shoes, I would say, like I said earlier in my discussion when we were talking about the common sense solution, I would say, morally, I'm obligated to say no because this is unethical. It is never ethical for adults to use, children to gain positions of power, I feel. And that goes into the whole moral-based ideal. So, morally, this just can't happen, okay? It is unethical. I would tell, let me go one step further, I would tell Mr. Budget, I don't feel like what you're doing is, correct policy. Is highly unethical, and I can't lower my standards as a coach, as a human being, and as an individual. I have to stick to my standards and my ethics, and it's just not going to happen. Because if you start Mary over other people that are better or worked harder or things like that, it's just not right. So in the long run, it is not fair for everybody. Like, in reflection, I really like this, case study, like I said earlier, because it brings up a lot of memories from when I worked in small towns. Now I work in Tulsa Public Schools, so this isn't, it's not as prevalent in the district I work in today. Excuse me. But in small towns that I worked in, I'd see this happen every day. And morally, you can't ever, I feel, lower your ethics and your standards and succumb to what somebody wants you to do. You have to do what is always right. And you know what that is. My philosophy has always been as a coach, hey, I would rather play a kid that's there every day at practice, answers yes sir, no sir, you can count on them, they'll stay eligible. And I would rather have 10 or 11 of those starting for me than 10 or 11 Michael Vicks on the football field. It makes better sense to me. And in the long run, your players are going to respect you, your coaches are going to respect you, and everybody in the school district is going to respect you. And let me touch on this finally. If you do something unethical, like start Mary Marginal, it will have severe repercussions in not only in your career, but the future of your players, because you're showing your players that it's okay to cheat, or it's okay to lie, or it's okay to put financial gain or materialistic gain before doing the right thing. And that's just, as a coach, you can't do that. And on the athletic director, I can honestly say that if an athletic director approached me about this and talked to me about this, first off, I would tell them I'm not going to do it. Second off, I would go talk to the principal. And then next up, if that doesn't work, I'm going to go talk to the superintendent of the school district, personally. Because you don't want that linked to your name or your career. And ultimately, it will get dealt with, I feel, if the superintendent gets involved. But this is my case study over Mary Marginal, and hope you enjoyed it, and have a good evening, and God bless.